I'm reborn as a snake, only to find myself soaking in a jar of medicinal wine. Inside the jar I have company, a toad, a gecko, a scorpion, and a centipede. Clearly whoever put us here intends to brew us into 5 venom wine. Just as I'm plotting my escape, a wave of hunger hits me hard. With no other option, I turn my eyes to my fellow inmates, all of them long dead. Choking back my disgust, I swallow them one by one. And just like that, I accidentally awaken the Devour evolution system. Every time I devour something, I gain energy points. These points boost 5 core stats: strength, speed, defense, toxicity, and vitality. Max out all 5 and I level up. The system has already boosted my venom potency 5 times over, but this massive wine jar still has me completely trapped. Then a man walks in. I go limp and play dead instantly. He stares at the jar and mutters, "Strange. How is there only 1 snake left? Tomorrow is delivery day. Guess I'll have to go catch 4 more." The moment he lifts the lid, I spit a full blast of venom straight into his face. Then I bolt for the door. Burning a few energy points, I activate the system radar. Outside is a residential area. 1 kilometer away, a mountain range stretches into the distance. Reach it and I'm free. But between us lie several busy roads with non-stop traffic. I'll have to wait for nightfall to move. For now, I slip into the nearby bushes. From the direction of the winery, a blood-curdling scream rings out, and the neighbors take notice. Once they learn a venomous snake has escaped, they immediately call emergency services. 10 minutes later, a team of firefighters arrives with 2 search and rescue dogs. As everyone knows, those dogs have noses that don't miss a thing. I twist my body and dart into a nearby burrow. Inside, I find another snake. I'm tempted to eat it, but right now it's far more useful as a decoy. I spray it with venom to paralyze it, then slowly drag it toward the entrance. Moments later, the dogs erupt in barking, and voices outside shout, "Got it! We got it!" Gradually, everything goes quiet. The crisis is temporarily over. When night finally falls, I crawl out of the burrow. I gaze toward the distant mountains, and my stomach growls again. A rat is scratching at the dirt nearby. "Sorry, little guy, but your dinner." But swallowing prey whole is deeply uncomfortable. I catch myself wishing I had proper teeth. The system responds immediately. Ding! Host's strong desire for physical modification detected. Body modification unlocked. 10 energy points can be exchanged for 1 evolution point. Accumulate enough evolution points to unlock the body part of your choice. I browse the system store, serpent fangs, dragon scales, even a full dragon transformation. My heart races with excitement. Of course, all of that is completely out of reach for now. After 8 hours of hunting, I've earned 400 energy points, converted into 40 evolution points. Once all 5 base stats are maxed out, I hit my first level up. A searing, bone-deep pain tears through my body. Minutes later, I feel myself growing longer and thicker. Level up. Host's current rank, Beast Level 2. Reach Level 10 to advance to Mutant Beast. Beyond that await 3 greater realms, Beast Warrior, Beast General, and Beast King. Now that I understand the ranking system, I slither to the roadside and prepare to cross. But halfway across, the savage roar of an engine comes screaming toward me. A guy with dyed hair is racing toward me at insane speed. A girl on the back shrieking at the top of her lungs for the thrill of it. Phone out, recording everything. Just before impact, I coil every muscle and launch myself across to the other side. The entire terrifying moment is captured on video. They screech to a halt and replay the footage. Once they confirm it's a real giant serpent, they immediately call the news hotline. The next day, the news breaks a brewer was bitten by his own snake, one he had been pickling for 2.5 years, whose venom was more than 5 times stronger than any normal snake of its kind. Online, people immediately start theorizing about mutation. And they have reason to. Animal mutations have been surging recently. Dancing chickens that stand on 2 legs, centipedes with human faces, even reports of a giant 9-tailed fox. The internet is going wild with speculation. By now, I've pushed deep into the mountains. 2 days in, and my stomach is completely empty. I pull up the system radar map. Not far away, a cave is hiding an entire nest of snakes, all of them deep in hibernation. I creep silently toward them. One by one, I devour them like little snacks, over 100 of my own kind, and earn a full 90 evolution points. That's enough to level up twice in a row. I find a safe corner and push through both breakthroughs, but the system flashes a warning. Current lifespan remaining, 5 years. Breakthrough to Beast Warrior within 5 years to extend it by 10. The next day, I'm soaking in a stream, then drying off on the bank. Suddenly a hawk's cry pierces the sky. Apparently, I've become this eagle's next meal. A plan forms in my mind. I can't fly, but I have a 3-dimensional radar. I lock onto the eagle's every move through the radar. Seeing no reaction from me, the eagle tucks its wings and dives. When it's just 5 meters away, I unleash a burst of venom straight into both eyes, then lunge up and sink my fangs into its throat. It dies without ever understanding what went wrong. The moment I finish swallowing the eagle, a sharp sense of danger surges through me. I open the radar again. Several blue dots are closing in. On the radar, red means extreme danger, blue means notable danger, yellow means an even match, and white means no threat at all. I don't know what those blue dots are, but staying alive takes priority. A kilometer away, a group of men are combing the area with 2 hunting dogs. They reach the riverbank quickly. From the bushes, I finally make them out. 5 fully equipped snake hunters. Listening in on their conversation, I learn they've taken a bounty of 500,000 from some biological research institute, specifically to capture 1 mutant venomous snake. They're here for me. I know exactly how this works, because in my past life, I was a snake hunter myself. My mind knows their every trick, but this body has never dealt with any of them. One man starts to fall behind. I strike, fangs into his arm, venom injected, then vanish back into the grass. The others open fire in the direction I disappeared. 2 loud blasts. Shotguns. Lucky for me, they're too far away. The pellets sting, but don't even crack a single scale. They leave one man behind to tend to the injured. The remaining 3 press forward immediately. The 2 hunting dogs are fastest. I deliberately lead them deep into the dense forest. By the time the hunters catch up, both dogs have already stopped breathing. The men are furious, swearing they'll skin me alive. The 3 of them push on. I fix my sights on the last man in line, strike again, and vanish behind a tree. One of them moves to charge. His partner stops him cold. You trying to get yourself killed? That thing has awakened intelligence. It's picking us off one by one. He steadies himself and tends to the wounded. Then from somewhere in the distance, 2 gunshots. Then a scream. The last 2 men go pale as ash. The thought of retreat finally breaks through. 3 of 5 are badly wounded. Stay any longer and none of them make it out. As I watch the 2 wounded men, my eye catches something near a fallen first aid kit, a small red fruit giving off a faint glow. The moment I see it, an overwhelming urge to devour it surges through me. I scan it immediately. Blood spirit fruit, a rare fruit brimming with spiritual energy. Devouring it grants 10,000 energy points. Elation floods through me. I snatch it up in my mouth, but this is no place to consume it. I need somewhere safe. Just then, one of the badly injured men somehow manages to raise his gun and aim straight at me. His vision must be fading. Only 3 pellets graze my back. The pain is excruciating. I flee immediately. The 2 uninjured men are doubling back now too. Afraid of being tracked, I plunge into a lake and push through the searing pain, swimming several hundred meters. I don't know how long I swim. Eventually I spot a floating bamboo raft. I check, no one around. I drag myself onto it and everything goes black. The blood spirit fruit in my mouth slides down without me even realizing it. My body is unconscious, but a sliver of awareness remains. I drift for what feels like forever. Then a fishing boat appears ahead. My heart sinks. This might be the end. But then a little girl on the boat refuses to let me die. She has a rare gift. Animals have always been drawn to her. Seeing this, her father and grandfather agree to take me home to recover. I think to myself, I've actually stumbled upon good people. 7 days pass, my wounds are mostly healed. When I first came to, everyone except Faye was terrified of me. But once they saw I had no intention of attacking, they slowly warmed up. Faye's little brother in particular keeps sneaking into the storage room where I stay. At first their grandfather is beside himself with worry, but before long he's praising me for understanding human behavior. I look at that smug old man and think, if I were any other snake your grandson would already be dead. Then something unexpected happens. As time passes, I form a mental bond with Faye, and a brand new stat appears in the system, psychic power. Once both parties' psychic power reaches 80%, direct mental link becomes possible, and soul pressure becomes a veil control. Can humans mutate too? Curious, I scan her with the system. The results are shocking. Faye's rank is already beast level 9, and her psychic power sits at the cap of 99. She also carries 2 skills, mental link and pure heart. My body is a beast's, but my soul is still human. Faye could be the perfect bridge between me and the human world. Through our bond, I immediately express my gratitude for saving my life. Then I let her know I've been cooped up too long and want some sun. Once Faye steps out, I convert my stored energy points into 1,010 evolution points. But after more than half an hour, I'm stuck, locked at beast level 10, unable to advance. The system tells me insufficient spiritual energy in the surrounding environment, breakthrough impossible. Nothing I can do. I settle for sunbathing. Just then, Faye's father and grandfather return. They take one look at my larger body and go noticeably tense. At the end of the day, I'm a snake. Once I've healed, I need to leave sooner or later. I listen as the 2 of them talk about wild boars destroying the crops. I know exactly what I need to do to repay this family. Through our mental bond, I relay the idea to Faye. Ray assumes his daughter is delirious from a fever. How could a snake understand human speech? I answer that myself by nodding at him directly. Father and son exchange a stunned look. Then Ray presses his fists together and bows. Then we humbly ask for your assistance, great serpent. I take my leave of Faye and set out to find the boars. Since a breakthrough is impossible in this environment, I decide to invest my evolution points into upgrading my skills instead. I upgrade Venom Burst to level 4. The range extends to 12 meters and the toxicity skyrockets to a terrifying 15 times normal. I still have 118 evolution points remaining. I spend 100 to upgrade the all-seeing radar. Detection range extends to 2 kilometers, with the ability to search for specific species. Each use costs 10 energy points. This upgrade is mainly for staying alive. Using it just to find boars feels like overkill. I hide near a vegetable field ravaged by boars and wait. When night falls, 10 blue dots suddenly appear on the radar. I go on full alert. Among those 10, 2 familiar faces. This time every one of them is armed and they've brought 5 hunting dogs. Cold resolve flashes through me. This time, I finish it. As I move in, one of the dogs suddenly erupts in frantic barking. Without hesitation, I unleash the newly unlocked soul pressure. All 5 dogs drop unconscious in an instant. The 10 men, already terrified, clap their hands over their ears and cry out in agony at the sight of my massive form. Even I hadn't expected soul pressure to be this powerful. With them subdued, I inject venom into each one. Then I coil around each of them in turn, squeezing until I hear the crack of breaking bones. I check everyone's gear. No cameras, no recording devices. Just food and medicine. None of it is useful to me, and there's too much to carry back to Faye anyway. I don't waste the 5 dogs, I swallow every one of them. The humans, though, I can't bring myself to eat them. I return to the field and wait again. Deep into the night, an unusually bright blue dot appears on the radar. I zoom in for a 3-dimensional scan. This is the Boar King, nearly as large as I am, clearly at the peak of the beast realm. Its hide is thick and tough. I'm not about to fight it head on. I coil up in a tree and let it come to me. When it's close enough, I spit venom with precision, straight into both eyes. The burning agony sends the Boar King into an instant savage rage, but the 15 times toxicity kicks in fast. In just over 10 minutes, the reigning king of the forest is dead. I return to Faye's home and signal where the carcass is. Ray immediately rounds up some neighbors to haul it back. Since my stomach is already full, I keep half the meat, and leave the other half for them to divide among themselves. Now I'm lounging beside Faye, watching TV with nothing better to do. A breaking news alert cuts in. This just in. A massive skeletal remains has been discovered on the floor of the South China Sea. Approximately 10 meters tall, headless, with 4 arms, and a giant sword of unknown material buried in its chest. Watching the news, I actually feel a wave of relief. With mysterious events like this erupting worldwide, creatures like me have the best possible cover. Another 2 weeks pass. I'd been planning to head deeper into the mountains to find a place to break through, but Faye's family refuses to let me go. Ray in particular shows up nearly every day with generous offerings of chicken, duck, and fish. Meanwhile, mutant beast attacks on humans have been surging over the past 2 weeks. Even in this village, some of the livestock have started turning on people. The whole world is slipping into panic. At the same time, I can feel the spiritual energy in the air growing wilder and more dense, and it makes me deeply uneasy. Ever since Ray and his father ate the boar meat, they've both reported feeling a gentle force strengthening their bodies. Then the ground erupts, a violent sudden tremor. I sense disaster instantly. Through the mental bond, I call everyone out of the house. The moment we reach open ground, the house collapses behind us, reduced to rubble. I urge Faye to get to higher ground immediately. In the earthquake's wake, countless beasts come pouring out of the mountains in a panic. They flood into human territory, tearing into each other and attacking people on the streets. Then the system flashes a sudden alert. Warning! The concentration of spiritual energy in the surrounding area is surging rapidly. Within the chaos lies opportunity. Host is approaching breakthrough conditions. I've just saved Faye's whole family from the collapse, and the grandfather drops to his knees in gratitude on the spot, the children following. The grandfather even suggests that Faye take me as her master. I study them for a long moment. I understand exactly what they're thinking. The age of chaos has arrived. With a global catastrophe unfolding, a family under my protection stands a far better chance of survival. And I have the system. Growing stronger is only a matter of time. If I'm going to build my own faction, I do need a human representative. With that thought settled, I accept the master-disciple arrangement. Now that I'm someone's master, there should be an initiation gift. I don't have much to offer right now. But after a disaster like this, survival supplies are what matter most. Once they're settled, I head out to hunt. Moving through the forest, I catch an extraordinarily enticing scent, several times more irresistible than the blood spirit fruit ever was. I'm not the only one drawn to it, but every other beast around me seems to have lost its mind, trudging forward with blank, hollow eyes. The closer I get to the source, the more something inside me stirs and writhes with restless energy. Ding Host is under the influence of the phantom spirit fruit's scent. Extremely high risk of losing consciousness and falling into illusion. Consume 100 energy points to dispel the effect. Duration, 10 hours. I don't even hesitate. Confirmed. With my mind clear, I devour the dazed beasts I pass along the way. I only stop once my fullness hits 100. By then, I've arrived at an unfamiliar valley. At its center stands a strange tree, bearing a single vivid fruit that pulses with that eerie, intoxicating scent. Every beast lured in by the scent becomes the tree's unwilling guardian upon drawing close. The stronger ones rarely make it. They're torn apart by the swarm of guardians and dissolved into the earth as fertilizer. I scan the sinister tree immediately. Phantom Spirit Tree grows 1 inch every 100 years, found only in places of extreme spiritual abundance. 1,000 years to branch, another 1,000 to bear fruit. After fruiting, it requires vast amounts of life energy to ripen. Once ripe, the scent dissipates on its own. Creatures under its control will regain consciousness, and will most likely awaken sentience. If the fruit is not claimed within 3 days, it withers and feeds back into the tree. This is the Phantom Spirit Fruit. Upon consumption, psychic power surges dramatically. The user gains the ability to cast Phantom Mirage, trapping any target with lower psychic power in a mental illusion. Each living being may only consume 3 fruits in total. The first yields the strongest effect. Reading all of that, I feel a quiet chill. Without the system, I would have ended up exactly like those beasts out there, lost in illusion, tearing each other apart. My fate would have been to rot as bones beneath this tree. But now, the heavens themselves are on my side. The tree has no defense beyond the scent. It lures in prey to ripen the fruit, and that's it. And that scent no longer works on me. All I need to do now is wait for the fruit to fully ripen. The scent is drawn in more than just insects, ants, spiders, centipedes. There are also wild boars, black bears, and entire wolf packs here, Right now they're all still trapped in the illusion, not yet aware. But the moment the phantom spirit fruit fully ripens, every survivor here will plunge into a brutal life-or-death battle. Any creature with even a shred of intelligence will recognize what this fruit means, a chance to change their fate entirely. None of them will let it go without a fight to the death, so even though I'm at beast level 10 now, individually outmatching anything here, if they all swarm me at once, even I can't say for certain how that ends. Then something in the scan hits me, a detail I overlooked moments ago. The phantom spirit tree grows only where spiritual energy is abundant, but the world's spiritual energy has only just begun to stir. It hasn't fully awakened yet. Even with today's earthquake unleashing spiritual energy from deep underground, the overall level still hasn't reached abundant by any measure. And yet this valley triggered that exact description. Could it be that this valley wasn't originally part of Wangyun Mountains at all, but was forced to the surface by today's earthquake? I take a sharp breath. Sure enough, the energy here is in a completely different league from what I sensed at Faye's home. If that place was like thin water, then this place is thick as syrup. Ding! External spiritual energy levels meet the required threshold. Host may now seek a safe location to attempt a breakthrough. Right as that realization sets in, the virtual panel materializes on its own, displaying that exact message. Just as I thought, I look at the words breakthrough available next to my beast rank, and nod slowly. The note attached to the prompt reads, "This breakthrough will take approximately 1 hour. It will draw in massive amounts of spiritual energy from within a 5-kilometer radius, forming a spirit storm to cleanse and reforge the host's body. During the breakthrough, the host will have no ability to defend themselves. It must not be interrupted or disturbed. Failure to complete it will result in total loss. It is strongly recommended to find a secure location and a capable guardian to stand watch." These conditions are no joke, I think to myself. Reaching a higher realm always comes at a price. But I have no idea when the phantom spirit fruit will ripen. Breakthrough can wait. Securing those 3 fruits comes first. I think it through and settle on a plan. The breakthrough isn't going anywhere. There's no rush. But if someone else gets to those fruits first, that's a meal flying right out of my mouth. I'll wait. I watch the frenzied beasts hurling themselves at the phantom spirit tree, and feel nothing. This is the law of the jungle. The strong consume the weak. That's all it ever is. As I wait for the phantom spirit fruit to ripen, somewhere 2 or 3 kilometers behind me in the forest, a powerfully built man is shoving through the undergrowth, heading straight for the valley. He's wearing a short-sleeved shirt. In the dead of winter, not a hint of discomfort on his face. A faint heat even radiates off his body. Veins stand out across his arms and a long blade is strapped across his back. "Master, honestly," he mutters, pushing through another branch. "What kind of treasure could possibly be out here in the middle of nowhere? I've been searching this area for 2 or 3 days and found absolutely nothing, and nearly got buried alive in that earthquake." He pushes another branch aside and stops, scanning his surroundings. Then something hits him, a strange, drifting scent. What is that smell? I almost lost myself in it. After a brief daze, the jade pendant around his neck begins to glow with a faint green light, and his mind snaps back. So it's real after all. That old man wasn't lying. This thing actually works. He pulls the jade from his chest and holds it up to examine it, and winces. A crack has appeared on the surface of the once flawless pendant, running across a full third of it. "Kid, you made out well this time. Sure, it's a replica, and a defective low-grade one at that, but in certain critical moments, it can save your life." He remembers the day he paid $100,000 at Antique Market for this piece of jade, and the old man beside him giving him that knowing look before speaking those exact words. At the time, he hadn't understood what the old man meant. He just felt drawn to it. Something about it was calming, almost magnetic. He hadn't taken the old man's words seriously. Now it's clear. As eccentric as that old man seemed, he had real foresight. Maybe there's something valuable near the source of that smell? Cole thinks, then hesitates. He nearly lost himself to it from this far away. If he keeps pressing forward, how many more times can this spirit jade hold? Forget it. Master told me to come to Wangyun Mountains and find something. There must be a reason behind that. The treasure has a clear source now. Why hesitate? After weighing it all, Cole's expression hardens with resolve. He pushes forward, walking straight toward the source of the scent. A gentle breeze passes. Evening is setting in. My eyes are locked on the 3 phantom spirit fruits ahead. I can't afford to lose focus. Time drags on. The sky goes fully dark. But remarkably, the 3 phantom spirit fruits begin to glow, deep crimson pulses of light radiating through the dark, brighter and brighter. They're ripening. As the glow intensifies and the scent thickens, I move, fast, straight toward the tree. By now, barely 1 in 10 of the beasts and creatures ahead are still alive, every survivor battered and bloodied beyond recognition. Bodies are piled high, blood runs in rivers across the ground. The thick, iron reek of slaughter tells the full story of what happened here. With my current strength, I could sweep through every one of these exhausted survivors without breaking a sweat. There really is something here. Just as I lunge forward, a man's voice rings out from behind me. I freeze instantly, an unexpected intruder, and I'm forced to change my plan. I've been so fixated on the fruit that I never activated the all-seeing radar to check my surroundings. Careless of me. Still, I can see that every step he takes is a struggle, like he's pushing through invisible resistance. And there's a jade pendant on his chest, flickering with faint green light. And in this bitter cold, the man is wearing nothing but a short-sleeved shirt on top. The veins across his arms stand out like ropes. Clearly a trained fighter, though just how strong I can't yet say. Truth sight! I spend a few energy points and fix my gaze on the man standing 100 meters back. Race human, rank, beast level 10. Peak strength 100, peak agility 85, peak physique 88, peak armor 70, peak endurance 57, peak psychic power 45, maxed skill, spirit monkey fist. Damn, his stats are impressive. Strength already capped at 100. With agility and physique both above 85, he's the strongest human I've encountered since my rebirth. The surprise hits me quietly. Spirit monkey fist, even the name makes it clear, this man has dedicated himself to the martial path. Still, at my current peak of beast level 10, defeating him would be easy enough, even if I can't quite call it a total mismatch. And while I'm sizing him up, he spots me. What the? That is one enormous king cobra. Is this thing on the verge of becoming a demon? Cole can't help but suck in a sharp breath. And from me, he senses something unmistakable. A lethal, suffocating danger. This thing is a mutant beast, no question. Sure enough, as spiritual energy revives, all kinds of creatures are mutating. Cole stays sharply on guard. The entire journey here, if not for the spirit jade on his chest deflecting the illusion, every single step would have been an agonizing struggle. There were moments he nearly gave up entirely, but the thought of treasure kept him moving. No, that treasure is mine. Nobody is taking it from me. His gaze burns with intensity as he clenches his fist. He mutters under his breath. It's just a big snake, nothing to be scared of. Worst case, I put it down. He has no idea what those 3 glowing red fruits are, but anything that drives this many beasts to slaughter each other is no ordinary thing. Fortune favors the bold. Master always said, the way of martial arts demands not just relentless training and innate talent. More than anything, it demands fate. Every true legend is a child of destiny, someone the heavens have chosen to favor. So this opportunity is standing right in front of him. Walk away from it now, and he'll regret it for the rest of his life. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Go big or go home. Cole takes one firm, unwavering step forward. I had no intention of any complications, and yet here comes an uninvited guest crashing straight into my plans. Damn it, looks like I'll have to deal with him first. The moment Cole takes that step, I move. My body flickers and becomes a blur. The air tears with a sharp crack, hundreds of meters, closed in just a few breaths. What the? That speed! As I streak forward like lightning, Cole's eyes go wide, but he doesn't panic. He pivots sideways, shifts his leading foot into a sharp right, and rolls in a single fluid motion, like a whirlwind, trying to dodge my strike. Good instincts, but still a step too slow. Seeing him try to sidestep, I charge. I don't overcommit. I simply tilt my head slightly to the side and unleash a full blast of venom. At that exact moment, Cole rises from his roll and finds venom coming straight at him. His stomach drops. The spray is aimed precisely at his exposed upper body. Bare arms, open chest. All that exposed skin is exactly the opening I was looking for. Cole wants to pull back, but there's almost no room left to retreat, and that last maximum effort dodge has already burned through a significant chunk of his stamina. He needs a moment to recover before he can push to his limits again. He has no good options. And facing the venom of a king cobra this size, Cole knows he cannot afford to be careless. He has seen firsthand what this species can do, and that was a king cobra barely 4 meters long. The creature in front of him dwarfs that in every way. God only knows how lethal its venom is. In a split second, Cole twists sideways and leans back, trying to pull himself clear of the spray. But I anticipated exactly this. There's no escaping it so easily. A large portion of the venom still connects, landing across Cole's chest and the side of his neck before he can get clear. The venom, potent with corrosive force, begins eating through his skin the moment it lands, seeping into his body. Cole cries out in alarm, his feet stumbling back involuntarily, but there's already an unnatural stiffness seeping into his movements. The paralytic component of the venom is already taking hold. Playing it safe, I lunge again, surging toward him as panic floods Cole's eyes. Cole tries to fight back, throwing a punch, only to find his body has stopped obeying him entirely. The fist lands limp and hollow, no force behind it at all. Strike while the iron is hot. I'm not letting this chance slip away. The 3 fruits are blazing brighter by the second. Time is running out. I need to end this fast. I coil into a death coil and lock around Cole's body. He tries to struggle, but finds his muscles have gone rigid. Damn it all, I can't believe this is how it ends for me. A wave of regret washes across Cole's eyes. By his master's assessment, he's a once-in-a-century martial prodigy. Had he not fallen here, a great future would have awaited him, but now he's dying. Whatever storms reshape this world from here on, none of it has anything to do with him anymore. I squeeze tighter. If I hadn't caught him off guard with that venom strike, we might still be locked in a real fight right now. Seconds pass. The life drains out of Cole completely. His eyes are wide open, filled with one last longing look at the world. No hard feelings, man. Come back smarter next time. I slowly uncoil. Honestly, if he had just turned around and walked away, I might have let him live. This whole encounter felt drawn out, but it lasted barely 1 or 2 minutes in total. The moment I release Cole's body, the scent vanishes completely. I move immediately toward the clearing beneath the phantom spirit tree. The surviving beasts are staring around in confusion, trying to make sense of what just happened to them. That confusion buys me time. The tree is roughly half a mile away. My last sprint burned hard, but with physique at 100% running at full capacity, my body is already recovering fast. I draw a deep breath and launch into another all-out sprint. I need to reach those 3 phantom spirit fruits and consume them before any of these creatures recover their senses, because once they do, everything is already decided. As I cut through the clearing like a ghost, 2 survivors snap back to their senses, a wild boar and a massive black bear, and they're the 2 closest to the phantom spirit tree. Not good. I watch them charge toward the fruit, quietly impressed by how fast they snapped out of it. Most of the other survivors are still standing around in a daze, nowhere close to figuring out what's happening. Faster! I push to my absolute limit, leaving streaks of afterimage in the air, the sonic booms snapping like firecrackers. Closer. Almost there. The 2 of them instinctively glance back. The noise behind them is too loud to ignore. That one momentary pause is all I need. At full throttle, I blow past them in an instant. A flash of shock crosses both the boar's and the bear's eyes. They never even got a clear look at what passed them, and they're already hopelessly behind. But neither of them gives up. They press on, still sprinting. Slim as the odds are, who could walk away from a treasure like this without at least trying? I have no time to care about their feelings. In moments I'm at the tree, and the 3 phantom spirit fruits disappear, straight into my jaws without a second's hesitation. Ding, host has devoured the phantom spirit fruit and acquired a new skill, Phantom Mirage. Any being with psychic power lower than the host who makes direct eye contact has a 10% chance of falling into a mental illusion. Targets caught in the illusion can be given a paradise, or a nightmare, according to the host's will, trapping them in a state they cannot escape on their own. The host may direct the target to perform a series of actions, including self-harm. While Phantom Mirage is active, the host cannot perform any other actions. Doing so will interrupt the skill. The higher the target's psychic power, the more psychic power the host expends. After casting Phantom Mirage, the host will enter a state of mental fatigue for a short period. Each minute sustained costs a minimum of 10 psychic power. The higher the host's psychic power, the lower the drain and the faster the recovery. Hearing all that, I flick my tongue in satisfaction. Another life-saving skill, and an incredibly powerful one at that. This is terrifying in the best possible way. Used right, Phantom Mirage could turn any hopeless situation around. Watching the 3 precious fruits disappear into the giant serpent's mouth, the boar and the bear both let out furious roars. They're outraged that I took everything without leaving even a shred of hope for them, as if they don't even exist. Their roars ripple through the valley, and the rest of the survivors finally shake off the last of the illusion. But every single one of them is covered in wounds, utterly drained. Joining any fight now is out of the question. Even at full strength, only a handful of these survivors would have dared come anywhere near me. Even the boar and the bear are running on nothing but sheer stubbornness now. Despite being the first to recover, their condition is no better than anyone else's, especially after watching this massive black serpent streak past them like lightning. That made one thing perfectly clear. Trying to wrestle those 3 fruits away from this creature would be pure delusion. With no backup and no real options, they stall, venting their rage in hollow, powerless roars. I narrow my eyes and watch the 2 of them growl and posture and sink, raging helplessly at me. Honestly, it's kind of funny. If I hadn't just stuffed myself, I'd have made a snack out of both of them without a second thought. But then a thought strikes me. I turn and fix my gaze on the 2 of them. Why not run a little experiment, test out my brand new skill? The moment they see me looking their way, both the boar and the bear jolt and immediately stop their suicidal display. All bluster, no substance. They have absolutely nothing left to fight with, just putting on a show. While bleeding off the panic and frustration inside, they watch my every move with rigid, terrified focus, already bracing to bolt at any moment. There are dozens of survivors scattered around this valley. Surely this black serpent can't keep its eyes locked on just the 2 of them? As for the improvement of their intelligence, neither of them is in any state to think. And that focused, fearful staring is exactly the opening I need. The moment our eyes meet, a surge of psychic force carrying Phantom Mirage cuts straight through their gaze and flows directly into their minds. In an instant, both the black bear and the wild boar go exactly as blank as when they were under the scent, reduced to hollow puppets, eyes glassy and vacant. It worked! Only a 10% chance, and it landed on the very first try. Not bad at all. I'm surprised, and pleasantly so. Kill each other. The moment my command registers, the 2 massive creatures, in full view of every survivor in the valley, suddenly turn on each other. The watching beasts, completely baffled, scatter in every direction, fleeing the area entirely. The clash sets off a chain reaction. The brief calm that had settled over the valley shatters, and the predators among the survivors bare their fangs at whatever prey is nearest. But no matter how wild the chaos gets, not a single creature dares come near the area around me. It's not just my size that warns them off. It's the sight of the black bear and the wild boar tearing each other apart right in front of them. A living warning that this serpent isn't just dangerous. It's something far worse. Something wrong. Every instinct of self-preservation drives them away from this corner of the valley. Excellent. The results speak for themselves. Watching the 2 massive creatures go at it with zero regard for their own lives, I'm satisfied. The first trial has been more than convincing. No need to burn any more psychic power on these 2 fools. The moment I release the skill, both creatures crumple to the ground, gasping for breath, and when their minds come back, what fills their eyes is pure, absolute terror. I hadn't blocked their awareness of the outside world, nor had I woven any dream for them. I simply suppressed their psychic power and steered their actions. That is precisely what has shaken them to the core. To lose all control of your own body, to watch yourself fight to the death under another's command, fully conscious and powerless to stop it, that is not something you ever forget. I pay no attention to whatever is going through their heads. I couldn't care less. My mind drifts back to the jade pendant on Cole's chest, the one glowing with mysterious power. It had caught my attention earlier, but I had to set it aside to secure the 3 phantom spirit fruits first. Now that the fruits are taken care of, that mysterious spirit jade could make a perfect initiation gift for Faye, and might prove useful to her someday. I slither toward Cole's body on the ground, passing right by the 2 creatures. They flinch violently, convinced I'm coming for them, but I don't even glance at them, just drift past slowly, and the relief that washes over both of them is almost visible. The black bear in particular, something shifts in its eyes, like something has clicked. A decision has been made. It draws a long, slow breath and tries to rise, only to find its entire body is too weak to hold its own weight. Once, twice, 3 times, 4, the black bear strains to push itself up, and crashes back down each time. On the 6th attempt, it finally manages to hold, legs trembling, barely stable. The wild boar staggers to its feet as well, casts one terrified glance in my direction, and the moment it recovers even a shred of strength, it carefully edges along the cliff face to avoid me, then bolts. Meanwhile, I use Truth Sight to read the jade pendant's information. Spirit Jade, a defective replica, single-use item, can independently neutralize low-level uncontrolled psychic attacks, and restore the wearer's clarity of mind without interference. Each time it protects its wearer, a crack forms across the jade's surface, and its color fades slightly. When cracks have spread across the entire surface and the color has faded to white, it becomes nothing more than an ordinary piece of white jade. Reading the description floating in the air before me, I pause for a moment. It's completely useless to me, borderline pointless, but for Faye, it might actually serve a real purpose. And even as pure decoration, it's a fine-looking piece. I clamp my jaws around the pendant, yank it free from Cole's neck and hold it in my mouth. I'm ready to leave. It's been an entire afternoon out here. I had planned to bring back some game for Ray and his father. That's clearly not happening now. But I have the initiation gift. The hunting can wait for another day. Just as I'm about to leave, the black bear suddenly lunges to block my path, and with a heavy thud, drops to the ground on all fours, belly down, prostrating itself before me. That completely catches me off guard. What is this thing doing? Does it have a death wish? I stare down at it with quiet confusion, genuinely caught off guard by this massive black bear lying flat at my feet. I raise my head and look it over from top to bottom. To be fair, it is a big bear, not the largest among the creatures that gathered here, but definitely among the bigger ones. I use Truth Sight to pull up its stats. Race, black bear. Rank, beast level 10. Body length, 2 meters. Shoulder height, 1.3 meters. Weight, 250 kilograms. Peak strength, 100. Peak agility, 30. Peak physique, 88. Peak armor, 75. Peak endurance, 60. Peak psychic power, 35. Skills, iron jaws, hardened bear claws. Well, those are solid stats. Agility aside, everything else is at 60 or above, and strength is already maxed at 100. I hadn't expected that. This supposedly simple bear I just puppeted around, it's the same rank as me. Beast level 10. Only one stat is capped at 100, but I know from experience that the system holds me to a different standard than it uses to measure others. Its numbers might look far below mine on paper, but in these forests, this bear is an apex predator. So what does it want? Unlike the boar that ran the moment it could, why is this one blocking my path? I turn it over in my mind and can't figure it out, and the thought of submission never even crosses my mind. The black bear notices me raise my head, and its body instinctively starts to pull back, but then something stops it. It plants itself in place, presses its head even lower to the ground, trembling all over, letting out a low, rumbling whimper, and that's when it finally clicks for me. This creature is submitting. I can't help but feel a little amused. Well, I really am quite the charming individual. Or rather, quite the charming serpent. My dominant aura must be leaking out everywhere. To have a devoted follower crawl to my feet of its own accord, genuinely did not see that coming. Facing this big lumbering beast, my decision is easy. I'll take it. Having a free muscle and loyal sidekick is an opportunity you don't pass up. But how exactly do I communicate with it? It hits me. Other than the mental bond with Faye, I've never actively established anything similar with another creature. And that time, Faye was the one who initiated it. It had all happened almost by accident, resulting in the bond being formed. Right now, I'm completely lost. When it comes to establishing this kind of connection intentionally, I have absolutely no idea where to begin. A complete blank. Then again, a blank slate means a free experiment. You never know until you try. The method reveals itself in the attempt. I look at the black bear and feel a flicker of amusement. What better test subject than the one right in front of me? The black bear squints slightly, and since my natural vision is poor, I only vaguely sense that it's watching me. No sudden moves. So it raises its rear end higher and presses its head deeper into the ground. If it's going to throw itself at the feet of power, it's going to do it right. In its mind, the creature before it is on a completely different level. Killing it would take no effort at all. And beyond that, revenge requires power it doesn't have alone. But under a being this powerful, as its follower, that revenge suddenly becomes far more achievable. Ding! A creature has voluntarily submitted to the host. Accept it as a follower and allow it to pledge loyalty. The host will gain 100 psychic power points, receive a partial stat feedback from the follower, and unlock a new skill, Soul Brand. Whether a creature submits willingly or is forced into submission, the host may brand its soul at the deepest level, binding it in absolute loyalty for life. The higher the target's psychic power, the harder the brand is to place. Unless the target willingly opens their mind, the process risks a psychic backlash. The soul brand can only be removed by the host's own will. There is no other way. Aside from their permanent loyalty to the host, branded followers remain otherwise completely themselves. When within range of the host's psychic power, they automatically receive half of the host's stat aura, accelerating their growth and combat power. The first soul brand requires 100% psychic power. The second requires 1,000. The third requires 10,000, and so on. Each soul brand is extraordinarily precious. Use them with care. The soul brand is currently at level 1. Additional functions and effects can be unlocked by spending evolution points to upgrade the skill. Just as I'm trying to figure out how to communicate with this big lumbering bear, the system's voice rings through my mind. The text materializes in the air before me. I click my tongue. In less than half a day, I've gained 2 brand new skills. My luck is genuinely off the charts. Phantom Mirage, the ability to trap a target in a mental illusion, bend their will, even drive them to harm themselves. That alone is terrifying. And now, on top of that, Soul Brand, a domineering enslavement skill that binds another being's soul directly, life and death by a single thought. There are simply no words for how powerful this is. Except as follower, I don't waste a single second. I respond to the system immediately. In a way, this big stupid bear has done me a real favor. Without its submission, I never would have unlocked a skill this absurdly powerful. So not only will I honor its choice, as my first follower, I'll make sure it's taken care of properly going forward. A person of character repays their debts, and a serpent of character even more so. Return every favor, repay every grudge, and never confuse the two. The moment I give the command, a mysterious force flows into both our minds, and we both feel something new take shape inside our heads. Boss! A moment later, a warm, simple voice echoes through my mind. Having already communicated through a bond with Faye, I'm not too surprised. I nod and respond, since you came to me willingly, from this day forward, your name is Bruno. Yes, from this day forward I am Bruno, and you are my boss. Bruno responds immediately, simple and earnest as ever. Both of us had been quietly processing what the system placed in our minds, which is why communication flows without any barrier now. The system fed us each other's basic information, and with the soul brand in place, there's no fear of betrayal. Letting Bruno in on a few secrets is no risk at all. Don't worry, I'll settle your score. Now get up. I give Bruno that promise. And in an instant, his dull, clouded eyes fill with a warm, bright light. He had thrown himself at my feet on little more than a desperate hope, and not only has his boss accepted him, but the power behind that boss is utterly terrifying in the best possible way. There's no shame in bowing to the strong. Bruno has no doubt he's pledged himself to the right one. From here on out, I follow the boss. 3 full meals a day. Life is good. Ding Host has successfully bound the first Soul Brand follower. Gains 100 psychic power points, new skill Soul Brand, and bonus skill Titanic Strength. Cost 1,000 energy points to activate. Upon activation, double strength stat for 10 minutes. While I'm still exchanging words with Bruno, the system's voice cuts back in. Warning, host stats have exceeded the current ceiling. Breakthrough imminent. Locate a suitable site and begin the breakthrough within 30 minutes, or the host's body will be unable to contain the current stat overflow, resulting in a body destruction crisis. This is the first time the system has ever pushed me this urgently, and the alarm it triggers in me is very real. The gains from today have been too enormous. My stats have blown past the limit of my current realm, forcing the system to push me toward a breakthrough immediately. First, find a safe cave. And with Bruno here, I finally have a proper guardian to stand watch while I break through. I pull up the all-seeing radar and scan my surroundings immediately. Less than 30 minutes, and ticking away. Every second counts. My body is enormous now. Finding a space large enough to shelter me for a breakthrough is no small task. But soon, 1 kilometer away on a hillside, 2 massive gray boulders standing close together catch my eye. The radar shows a cave beneath them. Not deep, but more than adequate as a place to seal myself in for the breakthrough. The location is well hidden too. Only one path leads to it. Bruno guards the entrance, and nothing gets through. Perfect for what I need right now. I signal Bruno, and we tear off toward the destination at full speed. Bruno is practically glowing with excitement. The moment he pledged loyalty, his strength doubled in an instant. Power surges through him, and the closer he stays to his boss, the stronger that surge becomes. Extraordinary. He has no idea why it works this way, but when something brings this much benefit, why question it? And at his current level of intelligence, he probably couldn't figure it out even if he tried, so he doesn't bother. Just follow the boss. That's enough. Soon, I arrive at the boulders with Bruno at my side. The moment he receives his orders, Bruno speaks up with complete and absolute devotion. Boss, go right in and don't worry about a thing. Anyone who tries to get through has to go through me first. I nod and enter the dark cave. With night vision, the darkness is no obstacle. There's nothing in here that can threaten me. I can push through the breakthrough without holding back. System, begin the breakthrough. I lie still on the ground, give the command, and immediately plunge back into that familiar sensation of flesh and bone being torn apart and rebuilt. Then I feel it. A breeze gathering around me, spinning into a vortex, converging on my coiled body. Something almost familiar floods in from every direction, drawn toward me, flowing into my ravaged body, spreading through every corner of it, mending, fortifying, reforging my flesh. This is spiritual energy. And it's extraordinary. So pure and dense it's unlike anything I've felt before. I've endured the pain of leveling up more times than I can count now, but crossing a major realm threshold, breaking through the very ceiling of your existence, the risk and the reward always rise together. This is the true gate between life and transformation. Cross it, and you rise like a carp leaping the dragon's gate, ascending to the heavens. Fail to cross it, and you are nothing but dry bones in a grave, returned to dust, faded from existence without a trace. But even though the pain has more than doubled, this time there's a steady stream of spiritual energy flowing in. A cool, soothing sensation seeps in bit by bit, still within the limits of what I can bear. As time passes, the commotion here draws the attention of the beasts and creatures within a 5-kilometer radius, all of them drained of spiritual energy by my breakthrough. Those that haven't yet awakened intelligence are barely affected. They keep eating and sleeping as usual. But those that have gained even a flicker of sentience during the spiritual revival quickly sense something extraordinary is happening, and come charging straight toward the epicenter. Luckily, most of the predators and venomous creatures were lured by the phantom spirit tree and are already trapped in that valley. The ones left are the lucky few from the outer edges, not many in number, and too far away to pinpoint my location anytime soon. After receiving my orders, Bruno stations himself at the cave entrance, dutifully holding his ground without moving an inch. The first mission his boss has ever given him. He refuses to fail it. He would rather die in battle than let anything happen to me. He lies there looking bored and still, but both ears stand perfectly upright, tuned sharply to every sound, his nose twitching now and then, alert to every shift in the air. Time ticks on. About 10 minutes later, a pack of wolves appears just beyond the cave entrance. They are a wolf family that recently wandered into the area, having narrowly avoided the strange scent drifting from the tomb. My breakthrough has made far too much noise. For beasts like them, already mid-mutation, a place where spiritual energy concentrates is irresistible. But attracted as they are, they're not stupid. They keep their distance, a few hundred meters out, watching cautiously for what comes next. Whether it's the massive black bear at the entrance, or the invisible soul pressure radiating from within the cave, everything tells them the same thing. A beast king is about to be born. If the breakthrough succeeds, this forest will have a new ruler. But if it fails, the physical remains of such a being would be the ultimate tonic for their own evolution. So they wait, patient, still, waiting for the outcome. As a family of seasoned hunters, their patience runs deep, and they are far from the only ones with the same idea. Across the hillside surrounding the cave, more arrivals appear in 2s and 3s, a weasel nearly a meter long, a 4 to 5 meter snake, a fox with 2 tails, one large, one small, all kinds of predators. Held back by the crushing pressure of my breakthrough, dare not move closer. But not one of them leaves. Bruno has naturally spotted the shady figures lurking in the shadows at a distance. He wants to chase them off. But remembering my orders, he reluctantly stays put. Fine. Enjoy the show while you can. The moment my boss is out, you're first on my list. A cold gleam flashes in Bruno's eyes. In his mind, anyone who dares harbor ill intent toward me deserves to die. Every last one of them. As everyone waits in silence for the outcome, time slips quietly by. A full moon rises slowly into the night sky. Inside the cave between the 2 boulders, I've reached the critical moment. My mind is completely clear, though I have no control over what's happening to my body. The system drives every step of the process, tempering my body from the inside out. It feels as though thousands of enormous iron hammers are smashing into me all at once, forging every bone and tendon, while countless steel blades tear through every inch of flesh. Pain 10 times, 100 times worse than anything I've felt crossing minor tier boundaries. But after every wave of agony, spiritual energy floods the damaged area, bringing a rush of cool, blissful relief. This extremity, fire and ice, heaven and hell at once, leaves me teetering between ecstasy and oblivion, unable to stop. But I can feel it. With every cycle of destruction and repair, my body grows stronger, and my mental endurance, ground against this relentless torture, grows tougher with every passing moment. Finally, the flow of spiritual energy from outside stops feeding the reconstruction. The agony inside me vanishes in an instant. What remains is a bone-deep exhaustion and a sudden hollow emptiness in my mind. Then, all at once, every scale across my body snaps open. I draw in one fierce breath, pulling in the last trace of refined spiritual energy lingering in the cave. A wave of icy freshness sweeps away every trace of weakness and exhaustion. My mind sharpens to a razor's edge. That feels incredible. That single breath nearly sends me soaring into the clouds. Ding! Congratulations, host. Tier advancement successful. Life level has evolved. First perfect breakthrough achieved. All attributes raised to the peak of the current tier. Bonus awarded. Triple S rank 2 bloodline. The bloodline enhances the host's speed and efficiency in absorbing spiritual energy. 512 times potential boost granted. New skill acquired. Bloodline ignition. Current level 1. Doubles all attributes for a short duration. Activation cost 500 energy points. Duration 10 minutes. After bloodline ignition expires, the host enters a weakened state lasting 1 hour. At max level 9, attributes are multiplied by 512. System data has been updated. Please review your changes. Just as I close my eyes and drift in that rare, blissful ease, the system's chime yanks me back to reality. I open my stat panel, curious to see where I stand. Host species Serpent Clan. Bloodline SSS rank 2. 512 times potential boost, enhanced speed and efficiency in spiritual energy absorption. Tier, Beast Warrior. Level 1. All 6 base attributes maxed. Ready to advance to the next level. Body length, 15 meters. Weight, 300 kilograms. Beast years remaining, 15. Advancing to Beast General tier will add 20 beast years to lifespan. Peak strength, 199. Each point adds 1 unit of attack power. Peak strength, 199. Peak vitality, 199. Each point adds 1 unit of recovery. Peak defense, 199. Each point adds 1 unit of armor. Peak endurance 199. Each point equals 1 minute of sustained output. Peak psychic power 199. Each point adds 1 unit of soul pressure and 10 meters of range. 50 energy points convert to 1 evolution point. This ratio changes with each major tier breakthrough. Energy points are gained by devouring energy-containing matter, as well as by absorbing spiritual energy directly. Evolution points 0. Fullness 100%. Once full, no further food energy can be absorbed. Digestion speed 1500%. Fullness clears within 8 hours after devouring prey. Skills: Venom Burst, level 4, 400 evolution points to advance. Toxin Immunity, level 1, 100 evolution points to advance. Truth Sight, level 1, 100 evolution points to advance. All-Seeing Radar, level 2, 200 evolution points to advance. Phantom Mirage, level 1, 100 evolution points to advance. Soul Brand, level 1, 100 evolution points to advance. Bloodline Ignition, level 1, 100 evolution points to advance. Titanic Strength, level 1, 100 evolution points to advance. Sure enough, things have shifted. My species has changed from King Cobra to Serpent Clan. A bloodline attribute has appeared for the first time and, more importantly, my digestion speed has jumped dramatically. I mutter to myself. Before it was 10 energy points per evolution point. Now it takes 50, 5 times the cost. Sure, I've gained a way to absorb spiritual energy directly, but this is robbery. I have so many skills waiting to be upgraded. If I'd known, I would have leveled up some skills first before pushing for the tier break. I sulk for a moment, then laugh at myself. Greedy Snake wants it all. Settle down. Boss, you broke through? When my massive head emerges beside Bruno, he freezes for a moment, caught off guard. If not for our soul brand, Bruno might not have recognized me at all. How did his boss suddenly grow this much bigger? More importantly, Bruno senses it. The mysterious force linked to him through our bond has grown significantly stronger. He's beside himself with excitement. The stronger I get, the closer he gets to settling his own unfinished business. And that thought alone lifts a mountain off his chest. Outside the cave, the creatures that have been watching and waiting. The moment the spirit storm fades, they feel it. A pressure rolling out from the cave heavier than anything before. Most of them flinch instinctively and begin to fall back, wanting no part of whatever has just been born inside that cave. But a stubborn few refuse to leave entirely. They step back, yes, but not away. Instead, they melt into the shadows, desperate to know what exactly that great black bear has been guarding. Curiosity killed the cat, and tonight, it's going to kill a few more things. Bruno, go finish off those fools who don't know when to leave. Drag the bodies back. A cold light flashes in my eyes. I was completely helpless during the breakthrough, oblivious to everything outside, but I know exactly how dangerous that window was. Without Bruno standing guard, if even one of those creatures had broken through, I wouldn't have made it out alive. So since you showed up, whatever your intentions, I'm not interested in hearing your reasons. The only hard rule is, none of you leave with your lives. Save your explanations for the afterlife. The moment Bruno gets my order, he snaps to attention. He had been completely focused on guarding the perimeter, but being closest to the spirit storm unleashed by my breakthrough. He'd naturally absorbed quite a bit of the overflow, drawing in no small amount of spiritual energy that now surged through his body, boosting him considerably. He's now close to the peak of beast level 10. After all, the one closest to the source is always first to benefit. If the boss is feasting on steak, it's only natural the right-hand man gets a bowl of soup. On top of that, the passive aura I lend him through our bond makes short work of any beast that hasn't broken through yet. Child's play. Bruno lets out a thunderous roar, then bolts down the mountain trail like a gust of wind, charging straight at the nearest wolf pack. I ease my body slowly out of the cave and raise my head to survey the surroundings. My girth puts even the widest barrel to shame. Steel-hard scales cover every inch of me, and in the moonlight I gaze forward, cold, unhurried, like a merciless king surveying his domain. Leave none alive. That is my order to Bruno, and my test of him. By the time Bruno and I return to where Faye's family has been resting, Ray and his father, after a half-day of life risking salvage work, have managed to pull some supplies from the collapsed house, and set up a crude temporary camp at a safer spot, now sitting in thought, trying to figure out what to do next. Dad, Grandpa, Master is back. The three of them sit around the fire, listening to the crackle of the burning wood, each lost in their own troubled thoughts. When Faye, who had been resting her chin on her hands, staring blankly at the flames out of sheer boredom, springs to her feet, she turns toward the dark mountainside and calls out with excitement. Ray jolts to his feet as well, barely containing his excitement. He takes a step and stumbles, tripping over an axe left on the ground beside him. In the firelight, the blade catches the glow, still bearing traces of blood, not yet fully dry. Old Amos struggles to his feet, his entire body worn thin with exhaustion, yet a faint gleam flickers in his eyes, as if he can finally see a glimmer of hope. When I appear before the three of them, my increased size nearly makes them mistake me for some other enormous creature entirely. And then Bruno appears right behind me. The sheer weight of presence from both of us nearly stops old Amos's breath cold. Ray and his father are shaking so hard they can't get a word out, the hope that had just flickered in their eyes draining right back out. Dad, Grandpa, what are you scared of? That's really my master. Faye is startled by how much I've changed, yes, but she can sense it clearly. This larger serpent before her is still me. I manage a wry smile. The change has been extreme. In barely over a month, I've gone from a little snake soaking in a wine jar to this monstrous bulk. Anyone would be terrified. After some brief reassurance, mostly from Faye, who takes the lead, she's already started warming up to Bruno. I also learned what happened here while I was in the mountains. In the dead of night, just as Ray and his father had finished setting up the camp, a pack of stray dogs and wild cats came out of nowhere, launching a frenzied attack. Fortunately, Faye, her mother, and her little brother had been tucked safely inside a makeshift shelter of wooden boards. Ray and his father fought back desperately, and it was Ray's axe splitting into the largest black dog that finally turned the tide. Reluctant and shaken, the rest slowly scattered. The strays were driven off, but neither man dared let his guard down, and both were utterly spent. No serious injuries, but they were a mess, especially old Amos, who had several fresh scratch marks across his body. Things are mutating fast. I narrow my eyes as Faye finishes the story. Since the spiritual energy fully revived, it's not just me. The mutation is spreading to every living creature at scale. Oh, Master, I think I can move things with psychic power now. As I'm still turning that thought over, Faye stops pestering Bruno and turns to show off her new trick instead. Really? That catches me off guard. If this girl has genuinely figured out psychic object control on her own, with zero guidance, she's a natural talent. I've struck gold. Yeah, I was watching Dad and Grandpa fighting those things outside, and I just panicked. Then somehow the pebbles and branches around me just flew up on their own. It was like they knew what I was thinking. They pelted those awful creatures right in the face. And while the big black dog was stunned, Dad buried his axe right into its head. My eyes light up. I really did find a gem in this apprentice. She's going to be invaluable. I open my mouth and let the jade pendant slide out onto the ground in front of Faye. Master, what is this thing? It's beautiful. Faye's eyes fix immediately on the pendant, no bigger than a baby's palm. A little thing to keep you safe. Wear it around your neck. It can temporarily stabilize your sentience. Thank you, Master. At my words, Faye glances toward the small wooden shelter, and a thought crosses her mind. She picks up the jade pendant but doesn't put it on. Instead, she tucks it into her pocket. Then she slips inside the shelter. This girl has a good heart. I can tell exactly what she's doing. Her mother had been shaken by the earthquake during the day, then terrorized by the night attack. She had drifted off into a dazed sleep inside, her little boy curled up beside her. The moment Faye hears the pendant can stabilize sentience, her first thought is of her mother. She quietly sets it down between her mother and little brother, hoping it might help them both. I am deeply satisfied. Character matters far more than raw talent, especially for someone in my position, a mutant beast taking on a human apprentice. If Faye's character were corrupt, she simply wouldn't be worth the investment. Filial piety is the root of all virtue. How a person treats those closest to them tells you everything about how they'll treat their master down the line. Meanwhile, Ray and his father set to work on the wolf carcass that Bruno dragged back for them. Time slips by. Morning comes quickly. Let's go. Down the mountain. On my orders, Bruno carries Faye and her little brother on his back. Ray supports his wife by the arm and old Amos walks close behind me, as our little group makes its slow way down toward the village below. Every road is in pieces. Cracks split the earth in every direction from the landslides. We pick our way across the muddy, ruined terrain, and scattered in the waterlogged pits, fish and shrimp of all sizes are struggling to survive. When we reach the village at the base of the mountain, what greets us is a scene of total ruin. Broken walls, shattered foundations, nothing left standing, barely a sign of life. Collapsed houses stand half submerged in flood water that reaches the knee. The occasional body floats past. Human. Livestock. Beast. Terrible. No survivors. I already knew what to expect from my all-seeing radar, but seeing it with my own eyes still stirs something in me. This settlement was the closest to Ray's home. Between the earthquake and the floods, it crumbled like paper, and now it's simply gone. Let's search, see if there's anything useful left. I lead the way, gliding into the ruins. I've made my decision. Faye's family will be my representatives among humans, and right now, while they haven't yet found their footing in this ruined world, my job is to help them survive and get established. Everything else comes after. Just as Ray and his father follow me into the settlement, 2 kilometers away in another village, a young man nearing 30 is sprinting for his life with a group of about 10 people, hot on their heels. 5 or 6 blood-eyed bulls charging with heads low, bearing down fast. Scenes like this are playing out all over the world. Half a month later, my body now stretches over 20 meters long, and last night I broke through to advanced beast warrior. My girth dwarfs an ordinary barrel. My scales are harder than steel, gleaming in the sunlight. Beside me, Bruno has grown significantly as well. He's been eating well, plenty of mutated livestock and creatures to hunt. And with spiritual energy growing thicker by the day, he's broken into the beast warrior tier, now an initiate beast warrior. He stands over 3 meters tall, shoulders nearly level with a grown adult, powerful and imposing to look at. The 2 of us are moving with a column of 2,000 to 3,000 people, pressing slowly forward. They are the disaster survivors from Faye's hometown, joined along the way by stragglers from surrounding villages and towns. The great earthquake has destroyed their homes and taken their loved ones. The losses are staggering. Worse still, the constant attacks from mutated animals and creatures have made the area unlivable. There is no choice but to move. What's happening beyond these hills, no one knows. After waiting in the ruined town for over a week with no rescue in sight, the only option left is to save themselves. Under the urging of a few respected and capable organizers, the survivors gather up their elderly and their children, grab whatever tools they have, load up bundles of supplies, carry it on shoulders, on backs, in arms, and set out like a tide of refugees. And honestly, that's exactly what they are. Their destination, the county seat, over 100 kilometers away. Their hope, to find help there. The roads are too broken for vehicles. Even walking is a struggle. The column crawls forward, 10 or so kilometers on a good day. Those with bicycles or motorcycles ride ahead carrying light loads, scouting for usable supplies. The elderly and the children trail at the back. No one dares break off from the group. In a world overrun by mutant beasts, going alone has only one ending. Those who tried have already shown the rest with their lives exactly what that freedom costs. Most of the column is women, children, and the elderly. Strong men in their 30s and 40s are few, and even they trudge along hollow-eyed and gray with exhaustion. They shuffle along the cracked asphalt, and every so often a lucky straggler spots the column and falls in, joining the march. On all sides of the column, mutated former livestock, cats, dogs, pigs, cattle, their eyes blood red, fur and hide bristling, trail at a distance, lurking in the wilderness and tree lines, ready at any moment to strike the species that once ruled them, their former masters. These creatures haven't fully crossed into mutant beast territory, nowhere near the level of power I carry. But against this column of the old, the weak, and the sick, they can strike with ease whenever they please. They move in packs, harass and withdraw, then come back again. After 10 odd days of mutation, pack leaders are emerging among them, cunning enough to rival a 7 or 8-year-old child. If not for me and awakeners like Faye holding the line, fewer than a third of this column would still be breathing by now. Under this catastrophe, it isn't just the animals that are changing. Among humanity, rare awakeners have begun to emerge, absorbing spiritual energy, forging their bodies, moving at blinding speeds, strong enough to lift a car barehanded without breaking a sweat. But they are extremely rare, fewer than 30 among a column of thousands. Most of them are teenagers, 17 or 18 years old. It happened almost overnight. A connection to spiritual energy forged in an instant, and then the strengthening that followed set them apart from everyone else. There's a village up ahead. It's already mid-afternoon. Let's rest here. Everyone's running on empty. Ray's family has become something of a leadership core within the column. The reason is simple: me and Bruno, two mutant beasts in their corner. Ever since they came down from the mountain, Faye's family had pushed straight toward the town, searching as they went. Gathering survivors along the way, they built enough of a force to eventually merge into this larger group. At first, the sight of me, a serpent the size of a python, alongside Bruno the great bear, drew pure fear from most people. It made sense. Since the spiritual revival, mutant beast attacks on humans had been endless. Their own livestock had turned on them. Fear was only natural. I didn't bother engaging with anyone. My standing order to Bruno was simple: we don't start trouble, and we don't tolerate it. Only Faye's family approaches us freely. Rampaging mutated creatures are Bruno's department. With Faye backing us up as a psychic adept, there's almost nothing on the front line that can match us. I only step in when things genuinely get out of hand. With 3 powerful protectors, people naturally gravitated toward Faye's family. Over time, everyone figured out who actually called the shots. And just like that, Faye became one of the pillars holding this refugee column together. Of course, where there are people, there is politics, dirty deals, petty scheming, power grabs. Wherever people gather, conflict follows. It's as natural as breathing. I left it all to Faye to handle. My role was simply to loom nearby and lend weight to her presence, and she didn't disappoint. She was rough around the edges at first, even lost at times, but she found her footing and eventually learned to command a crowd. The column has barely stopped moving when the scouts at the village entrance come sprinting back, voices cracking. Something's wrong, trouble, as one of the primary forces keeping the column safe. The Awakeners are deployed around the perimeter, each assigned a section to protect. I take Bruno and Faye to cover the rear, keeping watch against anything that might come up from behind. After 10 odd days traveling together, the refugees have learned, as long as you don't provoke these 2 mutant beasts, don't say anything against them, and don't threaten them. They won't turn on the crowd the way other mutated creatures do. In fact, they'll protect you with everything they have. A few brave souls even help prepare food for me and Bruno, under Faye's guidance. The occasional grilled meal, a few human drinks on the side, I won't turn any of it down. Life is comfortable. The real reason I travel with these people and protect Faye's family is honestly just this: the comfort and the perks. Ever since I gave him the go-ahead, Bruno has gotten friendly with a honey trader in the column, cadging honey every day like clockwork. Without a direct order from me, he's practically glued to the man's side. When the cry rings out from the front of the column a kilometer ahead, my all-seeing radar has already mapped the scene in the village. A black bull standing over 3 meters tall is leading a pack of 10 odd 2-meter bulls in a standoff against the scouts who entered the village. Hanging from its left horn, a poor soul bull, barely breathing. Let's move. There's a situation. I narrow my eyes. That thing is way beyond what those rookie awakeners can handle. They've got strength, sure, but no technique, no real combat experience. All muscle, no method. And without proper weapons, actually hurting a mutant beast like that bull is going to be a real problem. Tonight we eat steak. I say it slow and easy, watching Bruno's confused expression shift into something much more enthusiastic. Ace, we can't handle that thing, not like this. The handful of awakeners squaring off against the black bull are visibly on edge. One of them, a scrawny kid with dyed yellow hair, calls out to a tall young man standing at the center of the group. They're armed with cleavers and iron forks, but none of them dare make the first move. Ace swallows at the words. He is the strongest among them, that much is true, but he's green, and the reality of a genuine life-or-death fight weighs on him. It's not that he fears death, it's that so many eyes are on him, so many lives at his back. If he fails, the ones who fall won't just be him. So Ace holds back, not yet willing to throw the first strike. The great black bull watches as 10-odd young humans step up to face it. It blinks, briefly confused. They're smaller, yes, but there's something different about them. Not like the weak ones at the back, and certainly not like the limp wretch hanging off its horn. They carry a threat. Faint but real. The bull lingers, testing, reading the situation before committing to a charge. The standoff doesn't last long. Beside the black bull, a large yellow bull snorts a cloud of hot breath into the cold air, and with a gust of freezing wind, it charges. Get out of the way! The standoff shatters. Against a bull charging at full fury, no one holds their ground head on. The group scatters in every direction, each person scrambling for cover. The one caught directly in its path tucks into a quick roll, and as he rises, he slings his axe straight at the yellow bull's underbelly. But the yellow bull isn't the only one moving now. The other 7 or 8 bulls break from stillness all at once. Hooves lift, heads drop, horns level, they come thundering in. The only one that doesn't move is the great black bull. It senses something unusual, something dangerous. Its eyes sweep the crowd with careful attention. These raw young fighters in front of it, they pose a minor nuisance at best. The real threat, its instincts tell it, is still behind them. Its instincts are right. Just as the awakeners are locked in combat with the herd at the village entrance, Bruno and I appear. Beside me, Faye's face is flushed, because 20 gleaming daggers are floating in the air around her. Ever since I confirmed Faye had awakened the ability to control objects, at my request we found this batch of unsold fruit knives in an abandoned supermarket. Not the finest quality, but more than enough to put down creatures that haven't fully mutated yet. There's no time to let these awakeners develop at a comfortable pace. The only training that counts right now is live combat. I activate Truth Sight. The bull stats materialize before me. Species, Ironhorn Bull. Tier, Peak Beast Warrior. Length, 4.3 meters. Shoulder height, 2.7 meters. Weight, 2,750 kilograms. Peak strength, 257. Peak speed, 112. Peak vitality, 201. Peak defense, 157. Peak strength, 2. Magic power, 40. Skills, Titanic charge, horn launch. Not bad stats. 2 attributes breaking 200. That puts it on the stronger end. I've already done the math, in my head. Compared to me though, it's not even in the same league. Still, it could give Bruno a real fight. They're roughly evenly matched. Kid, these are all yours. Whether your master gets grilled steak tonight depends entirely on how sharp your blade work is. Leave it to me. Faye steps forward. All 20 daggers launch at once, screaming toward the nearest black bull. The blades move like lightning. Across 100 meters before either the bull or the awakeners tangled with it can react, the daggers have already looped clean around the bull's thick neck. What the? That is insane! The young awakener, who had been bracing himself to grab the bull's gleaming horn, trying to stop it from crashing into the crowd behind him, willing to take the injury if it meant holding the line, suddenly feels his grip go slack. A massive bull's head drops onto him in a shower of blood. He isn't the only one. The other awakeners wrestling with the herd quickly realize that the bulls in front of them have gone limp, each one struck down by blades moving like phantom lightning, dead before they hit the ground, watching half its herd drop in an instant. The great black bull steps back, a flicker of panic crossing its eyes. It is strong, yes, but only somewhat stronger than the herd it leads. In a one-on-one fight it could destroy any member of its own herd with ease, but to slaughter this many in the span of a few heartbeats, clean and effortless, that is something else entirely. And more importantly, the little girl who just acted isn't what scares it most. Its instincts tell it plainly, the snake is the real threat. And that bear, nearly its own size, is probably a match for it too. Thinking of running? I narrow my eyes. I turn to Bruno. The rest are yours. The big one's mine. The words are barely out before I'm already moving. A bolt of lightning tearing across the ground. The Serpent King is moving. Among the young awakeners, feelings about this unusual creature in their column are complicated. It's not as if no one has tried to make a move against me, but that person's fate was swift and simple. Bruno's paw settled it before I even had to look up. The strongest awakener in the column hadn't been Ace. It had been that reckless fool. Ace had thrown hands with him once. The other man didn't move an inch. Ace stumbled back 7 steps and nearly lost his footing. And Ace is the kind of person who can lift a car without breaking a sweat. By that measure, you don't need words to understand just how terrifying the Serpent King is. The moment I move, Bruno charges the remaining bulls. The battle is one-sided. The great black bull doesn't even manage to flee. I have it pinned before it can turn, and within minutes, the life drains out of it. "Serpent King!" someone in the column shouts at first. Then the rest follow. The cheer spreading through the crowd. Ray and his father have already called their trusted people over to clean up the battlefield and get to work. As the people closest to me, After all this time together, Ray knows exactly what needs to be done. Over 10 bulls in total. The largest goes to me. Every single person in the column of thousands gets a share of the rest. Ding! Devoured grilled beef. Total energy points gained, 275. Not bad. A mid-tier beast warrior. After being processed, it's lost a fair chunk of its spiritual energy, but still pulling close to 300 points. I'll take it. After the system chime, I coil quietly on the ground, running the numbers. Next time, I'll bring in more of these for the humans to process. Compared to swallowing prey whole, having it cooked and served is an entirely different level of living. I pull up my stat panel and look it over. Fairly satisfied. Host species, Serpent Clan. Bloodline, Triple S rank 2. 512 times potential boost. Enhanced spiritual energy absorption speed and efficiency. Tier, Beast Warrior level 3. All 6 base attributes maxed. Ready to advance. Body length, 25 meters. Weight, 3,600 kilograms. Beast years remaining 15. Advancing to Beast General tier adds 20 beast years. Since breaking into Mutant Beast tier with the Bloodline boost active, I passively absorb spiritual energy with every breath, roughly 1 energy point per minute. Over a full day, that works out to around 14 or 1,500 energy points. On top of that, as my body has grown, my food capacity has scaled with it. What used to cap my fullness at around 400 energy points has now doubled to roughly 800 in a single feeding. All told, as long as food supply holds up, like it has been lately, with enough prey every day, pulling in over 2,000 energy points a day is well within reach. I run the figures quietly in my head. Not a single day wasted since the march began. Traveling with this human column, using Faye's family as my anchor, I have my own plan taking shape. In terms of raw power, human or beast, nothing out there poses a real threat to me right now. When there's no tiger in the mountains, the monkey wears the crown. For now, at least, I'm the top of the food chain. Undisputed number 1. As for what lies further down the road, whether some human or beast eventually shows up that can actually threaten me, I honestly can't say. But I'm not afraid. The spiritual revival is still fresh. Everyone started from the same line. I refuse to believe there are that many monsters out there who've already lapped me, and if I ever do meet one, well, running is always an option. With my current all-round stats, calling myself unbeatable might be premature, but when it comes to running for my life, I'm fairly confident I've got that covered. These 1,000+ energy points, I'll keep them as my reserve for bloodline ignition. Can't touch them. I've already made the decision. A snake without a contingency plan is a dead snake. For now, nothing threatens my life. But in a world this unknown, who can say what lethal crisis is sitting just around the corner? When you get down to it, I have the Devour evolution system as my edge. But other creatures may have their own advantages waiting for them too. Never underestimate the world. There's always someone stronger. Caution never hurts. Bruno licks the iron bowl clean of honey, then closes his eyes and soaks in the easy life. Since joining me, his life has flipped completely. No more skulking through the days on edge, bracing for the next threat. As for his revenge, he hasn't forgotten. But I've told him, once the current business is settled, I'll help him see it through. A few more days of waiting, after all he's already endured, is nothing. He's waited this long. A little longer won't break him. So Bruno is frankly at peace. Don't think if you don't have to. Follow the boss. 3 full meals a day. Life is good. He steals a glance at me coiled nearby, and quietly congratulates himself on the choice he made. The life he has now, he never dared dream of it before. People groom his fur. People wait on him. And the food, so many things he'd never tasted before. As far as Bruno is concerned, this is heaven. I sense him sneaking a look, and roll my eyes. This guy has completely sunk into the good life, wallowing in comfort and pleasure, fully and shamelessly corrupted. But honestly, I've been lucky with him. The moment Bruno crossed into mutant beast tier, I made a point of scanning him with truth sight. What I found actually surprised me. Double S bloodline, only a single rank below mine. I still don't know the exact conditions for bloodline awakening. We've hunted plenty of mutated creatures, full mutant beasts included. Yet the ones with an awakened bloodline are nearly non-existent. I've scanned every awakener in the column with truth sight. The results, 1 double S, 1 D rank, 1 C rank bloodline among them. The double S is Faye. The C rank belongs to Ace. Lucky him. Among 26 human awakeners, only 3 carry a bloodline. That alone shows how rare this is, and how much it's worth. From the system, I've learned what each bloodline rank actually delivers. My triple S rank 2, compared to an awakener with no bloodline, absorbs energy 512 times faster under identical spiritual conditions. Double S delivers 256 times. The gap between those two numbers is staggering. So yes, I count myself fortunate, chosen by heaven, or something close to it. On this front alone, I'm already in a league of my own. And on top of that, I still have the system. If I ever end up falling behind creatures with lesser advantages than mine, I deserve whatever happens to me. Several kilometers away, an armed squad of 100 soldiers marches steadily in this direction, fully equipped. Everyone rest while you can. Our mission is to sweep the northern sector of the county. This area took the worst of it. Heavy forest terrain, complicated conditions. The civilian casualties up here are going to be severe. Our job is to bring out every survivor we can find. We leave no one behind. Understood? Yes, sir. Commander, that's what we're here for. To protect the people. If we don't step up at a time like this, who will? The civilians with nothing but bare hands. One soldier grips his rifle tight. His eyes shot through with red, and says in a hoarse voice, "Commander, do you think we're going to make it through this? Is there still hope for us?" A thin, slight soldier asks quietly, his lips still working through a piece of dry ration are cracked and pale. "Yes, Chip, I can tell you that with complete certainty. We will make it, but we save ourselves, and we leave no one behind. Marcus says it without a flicker of doubt. The catastrophe has been going on for over half a month now. Every capable nation on Earth is running its own organized survival operation. This disaster didn't strike one city or one region, it struck the entire world. The earthquakes vary in severity from place to place, but the mutated creatures show no such variation. They give the surviving humans no quarter at all. They tear into each other, devouring one another, and they turn on humans without hesitation. And as spiritual energy grows denser by the day, their mutation rate and breeding capacity accelerate. As one of the world's most powerful nations, Daxia leads the global response. Government bodies across the country, under regional command structures, have merged military and police operations into a single unified force running at full efficiency. Rescue units have been established across the country, organizing civilians into self-rescue operations and building safe zones. This squad is one of the most ordinary companies under Daxia's Southern Military District. Their assignment: push forward as a vanguard, search for survivors in this area, and escort them to the nearest safe zone. Commander, incoming report. The company has barely had time to rest when the soldier on forward watch comes sprinting back. What is it? Marcus is on his feet immediately, eyes on Dax as he rushes in. About a kilometer up the mountain road, tank boars blocking the way. The things are tearing into corpses on the ground, every one of them with tusks this long. 200 to 300 of them, easy. They're spread across the whole hillside. I checked carefully. There's only one road through to the towns on the other side. No way around it. And yes, Commander, 200 to 300 tank boars. Marcus's expression hardens, a flash of disbelief crossing his face. It's only been about half a month since the catastrophe began, but as a soldier, Marcus has access to government research on mutant beasts that most civilians never see. Since the spiritual energy began reviving, the state's intelligence apparatus has cataloged dozens of mutant beast species. The tank boar, mutated from domestic pigs and wild boars, is among the most common. Thick hide, dense flesh, razor tusks, immense strength, and terrifying speed. Living tanks among mutant beasts, which is exactly where the name tank boar comes from. Standard firearms barely scratch them. Without hitting a vital point directly, it takes over 10 shots to bring one down, and when they hit full sprint, they move at 50 to 60 meters per second, sustaining that speed for 10 to 20 kilometers straight. It is terrifying. That many, you're certain? My rough count. They're packed across the entire mountain road, clustered in dense groups feeding. There are sheds nearby. Looks like there was a pig farm there before, and there's still movement inside those sheds. The actual number is probably higher, not lower. Dax's expression is grim, as the scout, being the one to deliver news this bad, sits heavily on him. We push through, for the survivors up ahead, and for the people already lost. We clear those things out, and open this road. Marcus thinks for a beat, then speaks. Commander, we have no heavy weapons. Against this many tank boars, can we actually handle them? Dax can't hold the question back. Should we radio back to the rear units and request backup? We do the job, less talk. Every part of this country needs support right now. Survivors are out there waiting for us to get them out. Every minute we delay could cost another innocent life. We're a full company. Are you telling me we can't handle a few tank boars? At Marcus's words, Dax says nothing more. He turns and begins assembling the squad for deployment. Over on our side, no one has any idea that a military company is pushing toward us, or that they're already nearly in contact with the tank boar herd. My all-seeing radar only covers a 2-kilometer radius centered on me, and the company is 4 to 5 kilometers out, so no one knows what's happening over there. Time passes. The column settles in, people find their spots and throw together rough shelters. Apart from those on watch, most have gone to rest. Faye's family is no different. They set up right next to where I'm resting, putting together their own small shelter. Bruno, Faye, come with me. Let's scout ahead, take a walk. Having just finished eating, I feel like stretching out ahead. Walk off the meal, see what's there. If I can catch a mutant beast along the way, even better. I'm only half full. That black bull earlier barely took the edge off. The bigger I grow, the more it takes to satisfy me. Bruno falls in beside me without a word. Faye crawls out of her shelter and joins us. Master, I think I'm almost at a full awakening. On the broken road, Faye rides on Bruno's back while I glide alongside. Honestly, it was a feeling, as if something was about to happen up ahead, that made me call him along. I'm not surprised. Faye carries the same SS bloodline as Bruno. A breakthrough now would be perfectly natural. No cultivation method, no formal training, pure self-discovery. But if Bruno can break into mutant beast tier on that alone, Faye's body must be approaching the threshold too. Once I get you to a safe zone, I'll be moving on. I look up at the sky, and the feeling inside me is complicated. After all this time together, I've already known the answer. This life, I'm a snake, not a human. As much as I'm drawn to the life humans have, truly belonging to it is another matter entirely. Master, you're leaving. Faye blinks, then speaks quickly. Did I do something wrong? Have I upset you? Foolish girl. It has nothing to do with you. Nothing in this world lasts forever. You can protect yourself now. I was never going to be by your side forever. I have my own path to walk. This isn't goodbye, just a temporary parting, all right? A long silence follows. Bruno carries Faye, and the three of us drift along in each other's company for a good while longer, until Faye finally wipes her eyes, face heavy with reluctance, and says just 2 words, take care. After everything they've been through, she thinks of me as her closest family. The thought of parting, even temporarily, tears at her. I watch her expression, and I think of her as a little sister, even as a daughter. But parting is something I have to learn to face. The silence is broken by a distant explosion. Something's happening. Let's go. All 3 of us snap to attention. I take the lead and we charge toward the source of the blast. Commander, there are too many of them. We're going to run low on ammo. Dax watches the tank bores charging at full speed into the gunfire without flinching, without slowing, without any sign of turning back, and his face tightens with worry. This rescue mission is legs only, no heavy weapon support, just basic rations and a standard ammo load. Light and fast was the plan. They hadn't counted on a herd this size. When these things launch a charge, it's practically a beast wave in miniature. After more than 10 minutes of sustained fire, the company has put down a significant number, but more tank bores keep pouring down the mountain road. Blood-red eyes, blinding speed, charging straight into the kill zone without hesitation. Damn it, no other option. We fight to the last. The soldiers holding the mountain road use every piece of cover available, cutting down tank bores as fast as they can, but thick hide and blinding speed make clean kills nearly impossible. The firepower is fierce, but the numbers are overwhelming. The battle grinds into a stalemate, neither side breaking through. 2 of the forward fire positions have already been overrun by tank bores. The soldiers stationed there aren't responding on the radio. The silence says enough. Fortunately, only 3 of the tank bores have fully mutated. 3 boar kings, each over 3 meters tall. They hold back, grunting rhythmically, directing their pack to wear down the soldiers' fire, and for now, they show no intention of joining the fight personally. That's good news for the company. The rest of the herd, while tougher than ordinary wild boars, aren't invincible. Enough bullets in the right places and they go down. It just takes more shots than anyone would like. But more shots per kill multiplied across this many creatures adds up fast. There are hundreds of tank bores here. Each one takes 10 to 20 plus rounds to fully put down. To wipe out 500 or 600 of them entirely, the ammunition cost is enormous. For a light infantry company marching without resupply, the math is not in their favor. There is no resupply here. Every round spent now is one less safety net for whatever comes next. Back on my end, right as the firefight is raging, my all-seeing radar finally picks up what's happening ahead. Soldiers from this world, locked in a firefight with a mutated pig herd. I'm caught off guard enough to stop mid-stride. I look at Bruno, then at Faye on his back, and I hesitate. Do I step in or not? These are soldiers, not the unarmed civilians I've been guarding. In this refugee column, my strength alone is enough to keep the other awakeners in check and guarantee my safety. That works because those awakeners have raw power but no real combat experience. They don't pose a serious threat to me. Soldiers are a different matter entirely. Combat hardened, fully equipped, and trained to fight as a unit. One-on-one, I'd probably overwhelm any of them. But in a direct open engagement against modern firearms, with my current stats, I honestly don't know if I'd survive. If this company turned on me, I might be able to handle the ones in front of me. But the full weight of the force they represent coming after me, that's another story. Don't let the fact that a herd of not fully mutated pigs has them pinned down fool you. I'm confident this company will break through eventually. It'll just cost them. So until I know how they'd react to a mutant beast showing up on their side, I hesitate. I don't know what fate awaits me if soldiers get involved in escorting the refugees behind me. I've thought about this before, just never let myself sit with it. And now that the moment is here, I hesitate. But I have no choice. I have to think it through properly this time. Even if I want to cooperate with humans, I need to come to the table as an equal. Cooperation only works when both sides have something the other needs. But right now, do I actually have the standing to coexist peacefully with them? Having lived as a human in my past life, I know exactly how most people deal with something they can't classify, worship it, and submit to it, or put it in a cage and cut it apart. These past weeks I've been lost in it, drowning in the comfort of being served, fed well every day, not wanting to wake up from it. Comfortable, yes, but I forgot the old saying. A life of ease is where greatness goes to die. Master, what's wrong? When I stop moving, Bruno stops too. Faye, sitting on Bruno's back, can already hear it. Faint, but the rapid rhythm of gunfire carries far enough to reach them. Combined with my sudden stop, she can't help but ask. Nothing, just thinking. I look ahead and make my decision. Help them. What's there to fear? When the moment comes, you go bold. Worst case, if they won't accept me, I leave with Bruno. Simple. I can't confirm whether my current tier can hold off a military assault, and I have no desire to find out the hard way. But if I decide to leave, keeping me here against my will won't be easy for them either. And with Faye there, a human vouching for me, these soldiers aren't necessarily the type to shoot first and ask nothing. Let's go. And soon the 3 of us are at the edge of the battlefield. Commander, what is that? When our strange trio steps into the company's line of sight, not only does the soldiers' gunfire falter, even the tank bores charging in blind fury seem to feel it. Stumbling in sudden unease. 25 meters long, a girth no adult could wrap their arms around, rearing up to the height of 2 or 3 stories. I appear before everyone like a titan, raw and undeniable, crushing the air with sheer presence. And Bruno, large as he is, looks almost modest beside me. But he draws just as many eyes. For one simple reason. There's a little girl sitting on his back. A little girl, with a snake that size and a bear that large. Am I seeing things? Marcus, watching through his binoculars, goes completely still. He has never seen anything like this in his life. Take out the leaders first. You 2 handle one each. The last 2 big ones are mine. I haven't finished eating anyway.